Become a wealthy dividend aristocrat if you so desire. I believe the majority of people would seize such opportunity once proposed, because it looks pretty enticing to become a millionaire by investing in some of the most secure and trustworthy dividend-paying companies on the market. The next question to ask is, what should I do to make this happen? How long and how much money would it cost to accomplish this goal? Such questions are a little more challenging to answer because nobody can foresee what lies ahead. That is why today, here on Usable Wisdom, we will be answering that and so much more to help you become a millionaire with dividends. So, if you also want to start acquiring the wealth of your dreams, it would be amazing if you subscribed and hit the notification bell if you learned something helpful from this video. Besides, it's free and you can unsubscribe at any time. But otherwise, you'll always be the first to know about new money-making tips as we share them. It's a win-win! With that said, let's get back to the content, shall we? The past is the ideal destination to look for solutions. Currently, the list of dividend aristocrats includes 65 firms. 2 of those 65 companies do not meet the basic minimum requirement of 25 years of consecutive dividend growth, which is required to be recognized as a dividend aristocrat. Amcor joined the list by acquiring Bemis firm in 2018, which was a former dividend aristocrat, while AbbVie, a spin-off from Abbott Labs, earned its spot on the list courtesy of its former parent company. These 2 firms will not be included in our analysis, leaving 63 dividend aristocrats for us to explore. Let's take a moment to talk about the realities of creating a $1 million portfolio before moving on to the results. Money is the first and most crucial component. Making money requires capital. It will be challenging to become a millionaire if you are unable to save and invest a large sum of money. Yes, you may turn a little sum of money into millions of dollars by snagging the newest, hottest investment ideas, like Tesla or Bitcoin. But the overwhelming majority of people won't become wealthy in this manner because that relies more on luck than skill. You would not only need to make the right product investment, but you will also have to time it well. Usually, by the time these investments gain widespread attention in the media, that glorious moment has long since gone. This is not to argue that this approach to investing cannot be successful, but it's extremely unlikely that a few dollars might suddenly become millions. The bottom line is that your prospects of accumulating significant wealth and having a $1 million portfolio are better the more money you can save and invest. Time is the next important factor. The likelihood that you'll become a millionaire increases with the amount of time you have to let your investments work for you. Moreover, the cost of getting there will be relatively low for you as well. I'll use an example to help you better understand how time affects investing. Since 1926, the S&P has returned between 10 and 11% annually on average. Since 1957, when the index was modified to just track 500 businesses, the average return has been closer to 8% annually. To become a millionaire in 10 years by investing in the S&P 500 index and achieving this 8% annual return, you would need to make a monthly contribution of $5,327. It would be quite challenging for the average person to save aside so much money each month, because it is such a significant chunk of money. If you had been successful in investing this sum regularly each month for 10 years, you would have added roughly $639,000 to your portfolio, which would leave you with approximately $361,000 to be gained from the market and compounding. Therefore, you would have to provide more than half of the money required to become a millionaire rather than the market. With the same return assumptions, doubling your time horizon from 10 to 20 years would require only a $1,687 monthly contribution. Despite the fact that this is still a sizable monthly investment, it is around 68% less than what is required to reach millionaire status with the S&P in 10 years. Since just around $405,000 was contributed over the course of the 20 years, market returns and compounding would now be responsible for producing more than half of the wealth required to become a millionaire. The monthly contributions is reduced by a further 82% when you increase your time horizon from 20 to 40 years, resulting in a new monthly contribution of $298. For the ordinary person, that sounds much more doable, less than $100 every week. Over the course of these 40 years, you would have contributed a total of around $143,000, which means that more than 85% of your $1 million would have come through compounding and market returns. I intend to insinuate that having more time increases your likelihood of creating greater riches while requiring a lot less of your own effort. Finding the ideal investment vehicle is the third factor. Not all stocks have generated the same returns, and picking the incorrect ones to invest in can have disastrous effects. Even though I think investing in the dividend aristocrats is a terrific idea, their performance has been rather inconsistent. Because of this, investing in index funds or ETFs is generally a safer alternative for typical investors. You won't outperform the market, but you're also unlikely to generate extraordinary returns. You have a good possibility of becoming a millionaire if you put in enough time and money. Let's examine the past performance of investing in the present dividend aristocrats. I obtained 26-year historical monthly returns for all 65 dividend aristocrats, except AbbVie and Amcor. Also, I'm interested in how my $500 monthly investment in each dividend aristocrat performed throughout this time. A total investment of less than $150,000 would be required for this. Was this sum big enough and the time span long enough for an aristocrat to make anyone a millionaire? The final market value of each of the top 20 dividend aristocrats was greater than $1 million. In reality, if these investing speculations had been true, 29 dividend aristocrats would have produced millionaires. For reference, your market value would be roughly $708,000 if you invested the same sum in SPY and S&P 500 ETF for the same duration. Thus, several dividend aristocrats historically outperformed the S&P in terms of investment value. SPY would have been a better investment than an additional 11 aristocrats, or 40 in total. West Pharma finished with a $6.2 million valuation, defeating Sherwin-Williams in second place by more than $2 million to claim the title of top dividend aristocrat. Before we proceed, let's chat in the comment section about your realizations about becoming a millionaire with dividends. Once you're done, let's get going. Since money grows quickly after you have a lot of it, a sizable chunk of the ultimate worth arrived in the last few years. Additionally, recent years have been excellent in terms of returns. Other notable finishers were S&P Global, which had a $2.6 million valuation. Lowe's was not far behind with a valuation of $2.55 million. With $2.4 million each, Albemarle, A.O. Smith, and Roper came in third. The final dividend aristocrat to surpass $2 million with a valuation of $2.02 million was Next Era Energy. All 63 dividend aristocrats had an average value of $1.157 million. So this is the final value that would result from investing evenly in all 63 of these companies. Of course, the majority of the present dividend aristocrats weren't in that category in 1996. Many of them very lately rose to the aristocratic class. Therefore, this wasn't precisely an accurate depiction of how buying dividend aristocrats would have turned out. However, if we examine the Dividend Aristocrat Index's actual performance since 1996, it has outperformed the S&P index by 1.48% annually, returning 11.53% annually, compared to the S&P's 10.05%. Even though it may not seem like much, 1.5% is actually a very huge matter. If you put $500 into an investment each month for 25 years, gaining 1.5% more would give you almost $150,000 in extra capital. I consider it to be a significant distinction. Dividend aristocrats have a long history of providing investors with steady passive income streams, while acting as a safe haven during times of turbulence in the market. Reverting to the prior issue, how do you become a millionaire with the dividend aristocrats today? I believe the quickest and possibly safest approach is to continually invest in an index fund like NOBL. While there is a cost associated with it that will reduce your returns, you gain access to all of the dividend aristocrats and the fund's rebalancing capabilities in return. If you are able to choose the correct ones, investing in individual aristocrats could help you reach $1 million sooner. One other alternative is to look for businesses that may one day turn into dividend aristocrats, rather than merely investing in dividend aristocrats today. In the end, it's difficult to determine how much money is required in order to become a millionaire with the dividend aristocrats over the next 25 years. But if you continuously invest in the index over a long period of time, I suppose it's reasonable to assume that you'll be perfectly fine. Perhaps concentrating on saving and investing to the greatest extent you possibly can today would be a better primary objective than the final outcome itself. Thank you for watching. Hopefully this has been an enlightening experience for you. And if you want to see more content like this, remember to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you'll be one of the first to see our latest uploads. See you in the next one.